Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, my fellow YouTubers. Welcome to another edition of Krabby McCoffees. You're probably wondering what I'm doing. Well, as a prepper, sometimes you gotta check on a few things. Let's see, tomorrow's Wednesday, is it? I don't know what day anything is. I got coffee I gotta make up. Okay, Wednesday, right. So, Wednesday. Yeah. So, it's apparently at the end of the day. So, anyways, I gotta go look over my schedule here, right? I got February set up. Let's see. Tomorrow is the 20. Yeah. They make this so damn small at times, Let's see. Tomorrow's the 25th. Yeah. So go 1, 2, 5. All right. So I got so many things to do and stuff, right? Administrative duties, etc. That this morning I decided to get up and tell you what's going on. Okay. Let me see. Is there any room in here? Yes, there is. So I do this week. I write it in red. All right. It's a project because it is pretty good. And then, you just got to look at the empty calendar. A lot of people say, oh, well, you do a better job. So I got some new planners coming to review for you guys. I hope you guys are happy about that. So story time while we're at it, okay? So this morning, I'm getting ready to do my administrative duties, right? And Zoe messaged me and she says, oh, good morning. I love Zoe. She's funny. When I said good morning, then she said something about loads of dishes and said something about 40 minutes. All right, so I got freaking 40 minutes to get this done. I don't want to waste any time because, Zoe's going to do a short call. So I want to get to my news first. School is now in session, and then from there we will go to choosing as a radio. Okay. A lot of you have been emailing me and asking me about radio still. It's confusing. I'm going to basically make it easy for you today. I got all the tabs set up for once. Sorry, I'm not feeling too well this morning for some reason. Woke up this morning and it was like, I don't know. Anyways, let's go to it, shall we? First on the news, apparently the United States is sending Abrams tanks. That's a shocker for myself. Woke up this morning, and I was sitting there, right? I want to tell you guys this story. And I was sitting around, and it said news, right? And it said the U.S. is choosing tanks to show that they can, the United States is really, I saw it this morning, and I said to myself, wow, isn't that interesting, right? So Abrams tanks, and I'm thinking to myself, great, what's next coming down the pipe, right? So apparently bipartisan senators to call this in. Well, yeah, so basically Democrats and Republicans, Lindsey Graham wants to send so basically, apparently we're getting ourselves really deeper now. You see, this is why we have problems. Think about it, Article 5. Then I saw something about other news, right? So the United States wants to send our tanks, right? Our tanks. I don't know how many tanks, but you know what? I saw the news this morning and I was like, crap. Right? So they're basically asking for tanks, right? And that was just the tip of the iceberg, right, in the Ukraine war. And then it showed about Mariupol, great little place to go to, right? And then German parliament's debating whether they want to send Leopard tanks, right? Leopard 2 tanks. To me, I'm thinking, the problem is you guys need to freaking, and then Ukraine's talking about other issues like, Russia's talking about higher pricing, right? The problem is Russia. The problem is what's going to happen, right? And then the other news was classified documents found at Pence's Indiana home, and I was like, "Oh my God, what's next?" So, first thing we're going to do this morning is I'm going to close this up, save tab space. I'm going to close my email up, save tab space, because I just want to physically, I can come back to this. Yes, okay. So, since I'm 40 minutes, apparently by Zoe's standards, nice to know. I love talking to her anyways, but I'm not going to sit around all day and wait either. So I love Zoe dearly. She's no problem. But we have to make some decisions, and I decided I'm having my coffee, and I'm going to be talking to you guys about what's going on in the world. So, while I analyze a few things, I finally had a couple of sharing news pieces for you this morning. You might find interesting. So this morning, right? This morning, I got up. I'm in a good mood, okay? And I'll tell you why I'm in a good mood. The scanners are basically re-energizing me to get this job done. But people say, well, in case of prepper, what happens? Well, I'll tell you. You can buy a base station, which reminds me, let me look over the notes real quick. The notes won't take me this long. I got a couple other updates for you, okay? Okay, cool. So there's a note, right? Let me tell you about the story. So there's a person who turns around and messages me and says, what gives, with Amazon, again, shipping problems. I said, well, it's what they are, right? Shipping delays. Literally, Zoe was talking about a package due in, apparently from her. Then it's supposed to be in on, what is it, Friday or Saturday? It's Tuesday. Do you think Amazon's going to move their boots fast enough? No. They'll delay it and say 2 days and then push the shipping day back 3 weeks because they can, because they don't give a shit. And so, shall we continue with our discussion of choosing a scanner? Okay, I got a nice bunch of tabs open. So before we go into choosing a scanner and opening tabs, I want to explain something too, okay? The simplest term of scanners, you got 3 types. 4 if you get to the higher price. You got the low tier. Low tier is 95 to, which reminds me, so we get this done properly, right? Some people complain about being dumb, blind, stupid, or can't see because they're there. So I cater to you all by turning the thing up. Okay, shall we continue? Okay, so basically you got 4 types of scanners. Okay, you got analog trunking, which picks up trunk scanners, which means you get 3 different trunking scanners. There used to be analog trunking. When trunking came out, it was one trunk system. And then they worked on that and got analog trunk system too. So it's like they used to have like trunk tracker, for example, and then trunk tracker 1 and then trunk tracker 2 meant 2 trunking systems because someone came up with a new idea. By the way, just to get to some ideas in the old past, when the scanners originally came out, they're $500 to $1,000 or more. And then when the trunking came out, it was over $1,000. So eventually, they started lowering price. But the problem is it wasn't cheap. So while I'm talking about these scanners and everything else, which I love, I'm going to go into details. Okay? Yes. So, to make this an interesting discussion this morning, right, we're going to talk about scanners. So, conventional is basically, it picks up conventional areas. You can go to radio reference. I'll tell you what area has what. Now, there's, like I said, there's conventional trunking with trunking, which means it's a triple trunker, which means it's a little better quality radio. It's a trunking scanner that will pick up conventional, which means you can be in an area with conventional and pick it up. Now you say, well, what about digital? There's 3 types of digital, okay? So 5 types of scanners total. The middle part is a regular digital phase 1. Okay, phase 1 came in. Phase 1, P25 phase 1 was, that's why they call it phase 1, phase 2. Phase 2, I'll explain. Phase 1 basically is the crops of the crop, right? And you sit there and you see digital, right? And then they say digital trunking, right? There's 2 types of digital trunking. There's digital, the first phase 25, phase 1, with trunking, which means they're calling it a digital trunking scanner, but it's picking up the old analog, right? And then eventually, they came up with a new digital trunking system, which came to Trunk Tracker 4, okay, or, I'm just giving it. So you got Trunk Tracker 1 for the first trunking scanners, Trunk Tracker 2 for updated, which means, trunking scanner, Trunk Tracker 2, then you have Trunk Tracker 3, then Trunk Tracker 4. You can say, is there Trunk Tracker 5? Yes. Trunk Tracker 5 is the current scanner types with all trunking scanners in. Does it work? Well, it depends on your talk group. But so for now that you understand that a little bit about analog and digital, I will explain more in details as we go through these tabs. So let's get to it this morning. So for preppers, you want to choose one. I'll tell you, this is going to be fun. But time you get done, you might be knowing what's up, okay? I'll go through a little bit of each one. So, first one is not sponsored by Amazon. It's $93. This says here that it will pick up. It's got 4,600 reviews. This says here picks up 500 channel alarm clock, takes batteries and USB. This is one of those scanners that you can put, if you're into radios, you can listen to it while you're sleeping or before you go to bed. And that is something that's really good, and it's affordable. I'm thinking of $93. People say, well, what's the difference? Well, I'll get into them, okay? This would be the type of scanner you want to leave on your bedside or next to your bed because it would be interesting. It also has an FM radio, okay? Now, there is a selection slot where you can literally choose your scanner, right? Choose your scanner, between radio, FM radio, and service search is what I'm saying. Service search is something that you could use for all analog scanners, basically, and digital. That service search is what you're looking for. So, if you want just fire, you can look for fire. If you know it's analog, you can listen to it. But a lot of them are going digital. So people say, well, what's the difference between digital and digital? I'll explain it. Right. So this is conventional, non-trunking, which means even if you wanted a trunking scanner, you can't, which reminds me. That's the first one. Did we actually do we have the trunking one available in our list? Forgot to see. Yeah, okay. The next one up, yeah, I'm just making sure I got all my ducks in. The next one up is one of these scanners that the elderly could use, right? Higgins tried using one of these. All right, let me explain this, right? There's a cheat sheet usually on the bottom of the legs. Basically, the scanner is a scanner that is got 6 different buttons, right? It's got up and down, and it's got private. That's for your private banks. And that's where you store the data. It does not have a keypad. So if you notice, no keypad. This is like the basic trunking scanner, which you gotta manually tune your channel. And then you have your police, fire, and emergency, then air and air, marine, right? So basically, say you're in an area with air and marine. I think Chloe's giving me that damn cold. Sometimes I hate even. She's like, "Ow, it's allergies." Really, if it's allergies, why do I feel some days good and some days bad, right? Some days this damn whatever's kicking my ass, As Cliff, the heater's on. She says, "Ooh, new." Okay, there's peaches. All right, so for you guys wondering, sorry, I'm not trying to speed. I'm trying to speed this up. So, as a trunking scanner, basically, as a non-trunking scanner, this will pick up only conventional, which means check radio reference for your area. All right, this is like the simple old man style. Okay, you just turn around and if you just want it to scan certain banks for certain, whatever, you can get it done. So, otherwise, and people say to me, well, what's the price of this? The price of this one is, by the way, it's January 30th. So I'm sorry I didn't check the first one. I will check the dates for shipping out as we go. So currently it's January 30th, which means, they're saying estimated delivery January 30th. It varies where you're at, but they're getting tighter and tighter on these things, thinking that these aren't that important. So just think about it. But this unit, Higgins said, couldn't work for him because he followed all the instructions. The problem is his is all simulcast. He found out. We didn't know that, but he is hard-headed when it comes to scanners. So, okay, so as you can see here, you got your WXCB, your fire department, EMG, and your lockout. Now, a lot of people say to me, well, I'm sorry, we're out of that one. It says, okay, so if you're not interested in, and you're new to scanning, right, I would recommend a basic analog scanner, the BC 75 XLT. A lot of you say, well, what's the difference? The 75 XLT is a small, compact scanner. See, small. It's basically handheld. Now, handheld basically has over 32,000 frequencies. A lot of you say, well, does the frequencies matter? Well, it depends on what you want. Okay, I'll explain this. So right now, buying something like this is February 10th to 14th. So again, I'm trying to basically, I'm not going to go down here. And, we could look, right? So, for example, if you go filter and you go new, right? Prime delivery. I hate when they basically, okay. And then... So, I'm getting confused here for a minute. All right, so, we're not going to even bother with this, So, the 15X currently is a basic 32,000 channel trunking or non-trunking scanner, 300 channels, so it holds 300 things, right? So the problem with it is, again, is it's $105, and the delete is right there, February 14th. It's a non-digital police non-trunking scanner, so it will work for everything. I mean, a lot of people say this is what criminals carry. Now, we don't know what criminals carry, but I like to listen, and this will pick up everything you've ever wanted. 32,000, right? Now, Higgins, on the other hand, when Higgins turned around, he wanted the 125. He thought handheld's good, but where he's at, handheld won't work. So, basically, again, remember the 75 XLT had approximately 32,000. This has 40,000. So for a emergency bug out, or if you want to carry something on you at all times, this scanner will work the best for you if you want to pick up railroad and anything conventional. This isn't a trunking scanner. Now, a lot of you say to me, well, how come there's not many analog trunking scanners? Well, I'll explain that in a second, okay? But this picks up 40,000 things, right? Then you have, oh yeah. Did I even share with it? I guess I did. Didn't? Let me see. Hold on. So then, choosing a scanner, every scanner so far in the price tier, remember, we've gotten a little over $100, right? $100 and a little over 126, I think. This 100, right? January 30th. So far we got one that's half of February. That's where you basically hold the line and say no. But you can find some cheaper on eBay if you don't care about the warranty. So this scanner is basically handheld, right? And you also have alpha tagging. That's different. And they're easy to program if you have the thingy. The problem is this ain't a two-way communication. This is literally a radio scanner for listening to all radio traffic, but it's 40,000. And so you say, how come there is no handheld trunking scanner? Well, I'll get to that in a minute. Next is the 30C. Now the Uniden 30C is got 32,000. So if you look at the scanner, right, between the 75 XLT and the hold on. Then the 125. This picks up 8,000 less frequencies because of the This is a non-trunking scanner. So basically, it's handheld. It's small. It's got your keypads, and it, like I said, it's a conventional trunking scanner that will pick up everything that you need. Non-digital, which means they'll pick up, again, police, fire, emergency, no, weather, marine, racing, civil, ham, railroad, CB, and other bands. So the point is this is a whopping $115. So it's almost the same as shipped by Amazon. That's something I want to share with you. Shipped by Amazon, and deliveries February 2nd. So you see where the dates are going? Okay, let's continue. So that each one is, these are all conventional. Next up is the Whistler 1010. The Whistler 1010 is $80, right? You can sit there and say $80. Yes, it's conventional. So if you know your area is conventional, this will work really well for you in an area. Or if you want to travel to areas where it's analog and you want to tinker with scanners, this would work pretty damn good for you. So basically, you got everything you need plus some, and it comes with a power plug. Most scanners you have to buy, it says right here, AC adapter right there. It comes with an AC adapter. Right there, you can also get a car adapter. But the thing is, as people say to me, well, how many frequencies does this have? It's got 200 channels. So all right, so surprised Chloe doesn't give me some of that Dayquil. I could ask her for it. Getting sick from whatever it is. Let me see. See, this is why Chloe needs to buy more of this stuff on hand. Great. Yeah, I got night stuff, but I don't have day stuff. She always buys the day stuff. I tell her to buy some for me. This is why you need to have medicine on hand, people, as a prepper. And I'm not testing for Corona again. Fuck it. There. You top for me, peeps? There you go. Chloe's right there. Let's continue. The 1010 is a conventional analog scanner that's $80 will do the job. Plus, you get a power plug. I highly recommend it due to the fact it comes with all these features and you don't have any problems. I find it to be great. It also has its own squelch, and it's going to be cool. So, highly recommend it. The 1010 is probably going to be one of those go-to scanners for all emergency. $80, it's fine. How you say, well, what if we're in a digital area? Well, check radio reference. But for $80, doesn't matter how many scanners are 32,000 or 40,000. Just means they give you a little more frequencies. Handheld scanners go up to almost 512. The trunking scanners go up to 1,300 megahertz. But so far, we're still talking about trunking, non-trunking scanners. So this here is $80. Highly recommended. Next up is this one. Okay, again, desktop trunking scanner, pretty much, or desktop non-trunking scanner, pretty much. Right here, non-trunking desktop scanner, $105. Oh, by the way, did we even check the shipping on that last one? Oh, well. This one's January 27th. So, January 27th, you get it? You can get it, right? Easy to program for your area. You got your knobs, you got your squelch, you got your volume, you got your keypad, you got everything you need. It works. You're good as good can be. This is basically the desktop version of the 1010. Highly recommended if you like Whistler. Whistler is easy to get programmed if you know what you're doing. Once you start learning, it works. So, next up is the only trunking scanner available that is analog and a trunk tracker system. Now, this is about $200. January 30th, so they raised the date. Chloe's complaining about it because, why is Chloe complaining about it? Because, well, apparently she ordered one of these. Yes, she finally decided she wants, a base station. So this is a 15X. It's got over 40,000 frequencies. It has a whopping. Is there a fucking wheel come off again? All right. 40,000 plus things. Trunk Tracker 3, which means picks up the first 3 analog trunking systems, and it has 9,000 memory hold. So that's it. So it picks up also other things. Also has a special dongle, by the way, that you could use a GPS dongle for this. Now, if you're in an analog area and you're not worried about going digital anytime soon, yeah, this would work perfect for you. Now, this is the only one on the market currently that is a Trunk Tracker 3 and analog that is literally a trunked scanner. This is either for mounting in your car or mounting at home. So, next up, yes, we're getting it. The first bit, right? Now, a lot of you people have been asking me, right? How come, at times, how come Whistler doesn't show their how many frequencies, right? This is a Trunk Tracker 4 system, okay? The Trunk Tracker 4, as you can see, digital trunking. That means it picks up one digital trunking phase 1, and it picks up analog. So basically what you're doing is you're paying for Whistler. Hold on a sec. Paying for Whistler, right? To sell you phase one. Why do you say, oh well, phase one's good? And by the way, do not ask me what happened to the Whistler TRX1 on the list. I'm not gonna. That's not on the list, but I want to say I'm not gonna fill it in yet. I could, because we got 10 minutes. So this is basically phase one trunking scanner. It's not phase two. So you know. This says it picks up 1,800 frequencies, so it stores 1,800 channels, right? Doesn't say anything about it, right? So basically, for the price, right? This is a phase one trunking scanner. So this is like the original phase one trunking scanner, originally made by GRE, and it's a whopping $300. So you can sit there and say, well, I want phase two. Well, I'll get to that. So this is a phase one. The only difference is it's trunk tracker 4, and it picks up both analog and digital signals now. Nothing special about it. This one, on the other hand, is a desktop version of the trunk tracker. It's 262, right? Let me just say, this is the desktop version of a phase one trunking scanner. Again, a lot of people say, oh, I want this, it work. So the problem is you buy a phase one trunking scanner, you could get people changing to phase two. And if it ever goes to phase two, your phase one's only going to be picking up analog until they all go digital. So a lot of people only buy these if they have nothing better to do and their area is phase one, and they only need phase one, or they pick up analog with it, so they want a base station and a case. And sometimes people will have these still just because they can't get rid of their radio system. So, it's January 27th. This is shipped by, mostly they're shipped by Amazon. Some are shipped by that. But I ask you, is this well worth the price? Well, depends on what you want to do with it. This is like the best of the only also, Whistler is the only company currently that does only phase one digital in between phase two. So if you want something in between and you want to pay $262, you can buy it and you can look at it, play with it, whatever. So that's the only difference. They don't tell you how many frequencies it picks up. It just tells you basics. I mean, literally, it's not going to tell you it's going to pick up 40,000. This will tell you everything you need, but this is trunk, GRE trunk, and it looks nice, so it just depends on, what you want. So if you want in between phase one and phase two, these are phase ones. So, and then finally, hold on, I need to check something real quick. All right. Okay, sorry about this, people. I would like to share with you what I'm working on. All right. So the next scanner we're going to be looking over today is the phase one trunking scanner. The phase one trunking, and I'm going to bust my ass get this. This is a phase two. Sorry, this is phase two. It's called P2. So basically, it's basically the same chassis as the 125A2, which had 500 allocated channels. This has, hold on. This one has phase 2 trunking. So basically, it'll pick up everything you need in phase 1 and phase 2. Phase 1 and phase 2. So this is a phase 2, which means it picks up phase 1, and it's a trunk tracker 5, and it has everything. It'll take several different types of batteries. Difference is if you're going to buy a scanner, you might want to start with a, if you have the money, okay, $340 gets you this unit here, and you can get it delivered. Shipped by Amazon is $340 by January. This is basically your basic starter phase 2 trunking system with phase 1 and analog and everything. It's basically your all-in-one package for $340 if you need it for prepping. Some have rechargeable batteries, some don't. So let's continue. Now, next up is the 996P2. Same thing, 25,000 allocated channels. The problem is the Uniden discontinued it, and Uniden's being a pain in the butt with not telling us if they'll warrant their discontinued product, so I can't recommend this. But if you're interested in, it's black. It says Trunk Tracker 5. It's got everything the handheld counterpart has, and it's only approximately $360. So. And you get it February 3rd or before they restock. So technically, this is, a lot of people say, oh, well, this has everything you need to start with it as a scanner for that purpose. So let's continue. So this is basically the base station Big Brother's counterpart to the little sister of the 325P2. This is the 396, just an updated version, but it has everything the handheld has and a few extra features in base station model, depending on that. And you can also mount this in your car, so that's the only difference. Okay, now your guys are sitting there going, well, what about the next one? The next one on the list is a little more money, okay? We're getting to the bottom of the list. Now, the next one here is the same unit. The only difference with this is this unit is memory card enabled, so it's got a complete database. It's what they call the database. So if you don't want the 530 or the 325 or 396 P2, you go to the 436. This basically is a database scanner. Basically, it has everything you need in it, right? And it has a zip code, so all you got is put a zip code in. Easy to program. It is currently $449.18. So, do I recommend this? Yes. It's for those who want to use it as an advanced scanner, but at the same time use it for your all-in-one go-to scanner. Now, to me, this takes AA batteries, which is a blessing by itself because most scanner people go with this over the bulky battery pack. So, anyways, shall we continue? Because I got not much time left. The next one is the 436. The 436, again, is the same type of thing as the 536 is the 436. I got to do something. All right, sorry about that, peep. So the 536 is like 436, basically. It's the same thing, but it's its counterpart. The counterpart is this. Has everything you need and more, and everything's on an SD card, so it's a base database scanner, which means you just program it. Strong Tracker 5, which means it has all the features of its handheld counterpart, plus a couple extras. And these are used highly in your cars or in your homes. The problem is there is no problems. These are like the flagship. A lot of people say, oh, well, I need. And I'll explain the last of the scanners, okay? The next one is, son of a, I'm getting tired of these. All right, hold on a fucking second again. We have 4 tabs to open, okay? You see the polar bear is trying to get through this. Okay. Open. Damn fucking piece of crap. Okay. The next scanner on the market is the Phase 1, Phase 2 handheld digital trunking scanner by Whistler. Whistler is, they don't tell you how many frequencies, whatever, but there's a lot of people say they prefer this one over the 436. The difference is it's got a strong signal overload transmitter, yada, yada, yada. Basically, this is pretty good scanner. A lot of people say for the price, it works. It's also a simple zip code scanner, so it's a zip code scanner. Has a database. It's $440. People say, oh, I'd rather pay this and pay the $9 for Uniden. Fortunately, I have heard this one's been discontinued. I've been trying to get some information on it. That's why Uniden's got my win. But for everything for $440, it's not bad. You can see, okay. And it does everything, and it's Phase 1 and Phase 2 and analog. Now, the last scanners we have to go through, which I'm speeding this up, is the last 3 on the market, right, is this one, the TRX2. A lot of people say, oh, $500. Price looks great, The problem with this is there's 2 problems with the trunking scanner like this, okay? It does everything you want. First of all, the face removes, okay? So they say the face clips break off. You're screwed on getting your scanner fixed. Second is the screen, because it's detachable sometimes. It cracks and breaks. So basically, a lot of, say, Whistler 1 and Whistler 2s have been discontinued. People say why. No one knows. Or Whistler discontinued other models. I don't know, but I heard their TRX 1 and 2s. This is a TRX 2. Is that? Now, it's a $700 plus scanner, and it's $529. So you got to ask yourself, inflation? Maybe. Non-inflation? Maybe. Would I get it? Well, this is also a database scanner, which means if you look at the memory thing, right, the SD card's right here. So, the thing is, it's what you want to pay. Now, if you want something nice and you're entitled to nice things, yeah. Now, for the final 2 scanners, represents the pinnacle of scanners. Okay, this pinnacles. 2 links. Okay, first of all, right here. Right here. SDS to 100 is a handheld scanner. Okay, people say, oh, that's great. I want it. A lot of people like Higgins and I don't want it because it's got an internal battery. Okay, one of those battery packs that you got to buy. Now, what happens if you buy the battery and the battery fails? Battery fails. Now, I want to finish my discussions with you guys, okay? So that there has all the channels is the 436. The only difference is between the 436 handheld and this, for the price difference of, say, $449 to $649, $200 difference is this one does simulcast, which you really need in Higgins' neck of the woods. But the problem with it is this: do you buy one of these or do you go higher? And Higgins is like, oh, I want the 100 to take a round. But Higgins said last night something important. He said, what if you buy a item that requires a battery pack, these big blocky battery packs, and yet the radio won't work due to the fact that the batteries will fail, So I have a lot of reviews to do coming up, but you got to ask that question, that is, how much are you paying, right? So is it worth the $650? Yes, but you got to take into account the battery. Everyone's going with the 436 It's all around. It's the all arounder. It's like the fly rod of fly rods, the 5 weights, the all rounder. The 436, the all arounder. Why? Because it takes AA batteries. It comes with rechargeable batteries. It comes with everything, and you don't need to worry about your battery packs failing or them discontinuing the battery packs. So if I were you, unless you really need simulcast, I'd skip simulcast and go with a handheld or a digital. Now, the last one on the model, okay, the last one, and simulcast is very important. This, all right, this is the last one on the list. This one here is basically $700. It's one of those ones that, that only works if you're in the house, right? The house scanner. Basically, the scanner, $700. What do you get with it? You get everything. You get simulcast. You get simulcast. You get Trunk Tracker 5. You get everything you need in a bag of chips. This will decode everything. But what if you're in an area where, people say for prepping, right? Prepping is only good if you have power. Now, if you don't have power, your best course of action for your Trunk Tracker scanner would be a handheld, just because you can have a base station for home that you've learned. And then in case of problem, this does simulcast, but as you said, it picks it up on the thing is each scanner has a specific, okay, this one's like, does everything. This is the everything, the Advanced X Mobile, blah, blah, blah. See, memory card here, micro USB, squelch volume, dial control, 3.5-inch screen. People say, oh, a little too bigger to mount in a car, but unless you had a custom dashboard, you could fit it. The bottom line is if you're going to buy a scanner, what you need to buy is this. You need to buy it based on your location. Radio Reference has got a great reference. Radio Reference is, let me turn this down to 100 again. So Radio Reference is got a database, okay? Anyone can look up the things, but if you have a membership you can actually pay into, they can download programs so that you just got easier access to the cut paste programming for the scanner. So let me just show you Radio Reference real quick. Radio Reference is a website, right? So each one is this area, right? And then you go to database, then you go here, right? When you go here, it basically says browse, right? Well, I'm not going to give you. So basically, it shows the entire database, right, of the United States of America, right? We already talked about New York, Cleveland, etc., right? But this is areas that you got to look at. I wonder why it's color-coded, different colors. So basically, you see what it is? So basically, everything in the database. Now, if you have a database scanner, the 436, 536, the one SDS 100, the SDS 200, you're done. You just type in your zip code, or the TRX1 by Whistler, TRX2. So the bottom line is, you do that, you're good gold. You're good as golden. So a lot of you say to me, well, Rita, what's the plan? The plan is you got to ask yourself, what's going to happen. Shipping's going to be slow as snails, because everywhere you go, shipping's going to be slow. So you got to ask yourself, ship by Amazon, ship by not Amazon, and you got to ask yourself what you truly need. Radio Reference will be your best bet, but lower $100 to under $150 analog. Under $200, $150 to $200, give or take, analog conventional trunking. Then it goes to $300 to $400. Let's just say $300 to, let's just say $250 to to $300. The sweet spot, right, is analog or digital phase one with analog trunking. So you get a trunk tracker 4 basically. Then for $350 up to $700+ is your analog your analog, your digital scanner. So the entire package from $350. Now, if you want phase 2 and phase 1, but you don't want to go to the most advanced system because it's your first scanner, then $350 to $400 would be fine. Now say you want basically a handheld and a base station. Those would be good. You have your base station for home. You can monitor everything at all times. And then you can get your handle to take with you. Now, some areas it's simulcast, so you got to be careful. So then you go up from that to the 450 to 550 models, which again has everything in it. And then you go from the $650 to the $700 jobbies, which is the most expensive. So you do the math. It's all finances, really, and what features you want, and if you want analog or, if you just want something for an emergency, yeah, just get a handheld. Now, if you're in an analog area, handheld. If digital, handheld. Now, if you want both just to maintain and learn, get both. And then in case power goes out, you can use your handheld. That said, everyone, thanks for watching. I will be back later. Please add and subscribe, post comments, leave feedback, suggestions, hit the like, subscribe button. So it's fun for your family, including your dogs, cats, your bunnies, service dogs, your service bunnies. Hit the bell notification. Hit the thumbs up button, the subscribe button. So it's some fun for your family. And leave the comments nice as all we ask. Thank you. And I will make another video later today. Thank you, and God bless you and everything you do.